With San Francisco in desperate need of linebacker help, they claimed recently released Garret Wallow from the Denver Broncos. And while he mainly has been a special teams contributor this year, he does have the necessary athleticism to find success in Robert Saleh's defense, and even has already shown some flashes in his young NFL career. So in this video, we're going to dive a little bit more deeply into San Francisco's new linebacker in Garret Wallow, and go over what the 6'2", 230-pound backer has to offer. And initially, to start out, we will be examining him on the defensive side of the ball, and specifically looking at his run defense, where he shows off insane sideline to sideline ability in a similar way Greenlaw used to for this team. And it's not just his athleticism, but his ability to quickly identify exactly what the offense is doing and then shoot with no hesitation. To really illustrate this point, here on this play, the Texans are attacking him with the toss, while also trying to sell the run going the other direction with the fullback and guard pulling that direction, but because he's quick to recognize this tackle and center double teaming their way up to the second level, he can shoot by this tackle's block and then has the ability to chase down this back in the open field that doesn't allow him to bend the corner on him and gets the open field tackle. In a similar way on this play, as a Texans linebacker this time, he's able to identify the outside run using this tackle and guard making their way up to the second level, so he shoots to the outside not only to avoid this tackle and tight ends block on this play, but also to get outside contain. And once back there, he doesn't just get outside contain, but he's also able to make the open field tackle like we saw in the last play as well. Outside of his sideline to sideline ability, he also has the ability to step up inside the box and stop it back inside. To really illustrate this point, here one-on-one with Walker, he could have easily been juked out and they could have potentially hit the big one on him, but he's able to come up, meet him in the hole, and then bring him down for a 4-yard gain. Another underappreciated part about Wallow's defense that's really grown at the NFL level is his ability to identify guards making their way up to the second level and then attacking them violently. Here on this play, on this inside zone run from the Seahawks for instance, he sees this lane forming as well as this guard making his way up to the second level, so he attacks him, which causes his back to bounce it in towards the teeth of his defense, and they're not able to pick up the first down here. Outside of his run defense, Wallow is a former safety, and you can definitely tell that by the way he's able to identify what the offense is trying to do to him in the passing game and how violently he attacks it. To start to highlight this point, here on this play, Wallow is in man coverage on this back who's breaking out hard to the flats. Meanwhile, you also have this congestion over the middle with this wide receiver, but because Wallow is quick to identify it, he starts to flow that direction, showcasing his sideline to sideline ability, and once again, he's bringing down this ball carrier in the open field for a pretty minimal gain. This is exactly the backer San Francisco loves in their defense, and if I were to bet, Saleh is going to get the most out of him. This is especially the case considering he doesn't just offer great man coverage, but he also has showcased the ability to be an effective zone coverage linebacker. Here on this play, for instance, he's responsible for the hook curl zone into flats, but since he's able to read one, breaking out hard on this play, once again, he knows most likely this is the direction the Jaguars will be challenging him, and with the quarterback throwing that direction, he closes quickly in on this back, and if this doesn't remind you of a player like Greenlaw, I really don't know what play would. Another aspect of his zone coverage I really like is how he takes away the quarterback's deep read before coming up hard. Here on this play, for instance, once again he's responsible for the hook curl into flats, and initially he does a nice job of checking this wide receiver entering his zone, then takes away the quarterback's deep read on this play, and then seeing him target this check down option, there's no hesitation in his game. He's coming up aggressively and stops his back for only a 1-yard gain on this play. Outside of his play recognition, his change of direction and the ability to disrupt a back, wide receiver, or tight end also allows him to be extremely effective in man coverage. To really illustrate this point, 26 is really trying to get Wallow to commit to the outside by first shooting outside and then breaking back across his face to the inside, but Wallow does a nice job of getting two hands on him right here, disrupting his route. And then right here you can see what I mean by his change of direction. He's staying in his hip pocket, taking away this check down option, and ultimately is a big reason why this is an incompleted pass here. It's also worth mentioning Wallow is a player that's always going to be pursuing a play. Like here, despite this pass going the opposite side of him, he's running towards this direction and nearly gets in on this tackle because of his pursuit and athleticism. Outside of his coverage, Wallow also has the necessary athleticism to be sent on blitzes. Like here, he's blitzing Geno Smith and is a big reason why this pass is incomplete. And if anyone knows how to get an opposing quarterback to the ground schematically wise, it's Robert Saleh. So it'll be interesting to see how he's sent on blitzes if he does see action on the defensive side of the ball. On top of that, he offers pretty nice special teams versatility, and this year for the Broncos, he was a good contributor. Like here on this play, he does a great job of blowing up this block, then identifying where this ball carrier is and making the open field tackle. And a lot of the things he saw in his film on the defensive side of the ball carry over to the special teams pursuit he has. Even with all these positives to Garret Wallow's game though, he isn't a complete player, and that's a big reason why the Broncos released him. With probably the most notable areas of concern to his game is sometimes he allows blockers to get inside his chest, and then he struggles to disengage since he doesn't have the longest arms. Throughout this video, we also saw Wallow is an extremely aggressive player, and while that's great sometimes for your defense, it can also lead to big offensive plays if he's off, and sometimes he is off because he is a young player and continuing to improve in his play recognition. And this can affect him both in the running game and passing game. In the running game, for instance, sometimes he'll shoot a lane and it be the wrong lane completely, or he misrecognizes the running play and that leaves a gap for the back to hit. Because he's so aggressive at filling these runs as well, he'll bite on play action passes, which can leave his defense susceptible to the pass over the top. On top of that, he's dealt with injuries throughout his NFL career, so headed to San Francisco, he needs to prove he can stay healthy long term so he can develop under Saleh's tutelage. And if he is able to remain healthy, I do think he will be able to find success in San Francisco's system, whether that be on the special team side of the ball or defensive side of the ball. And if he does get his opportunity on the defensive side of the ball, I think there's a ton to like. Not only can he play man coverage extremely effectively because of his background as a safety, he's also solid in his zone coverage. And against the run, he can play sideline to sideline in a similar way we saw Greenlaw used to for this team. Maybe most importantly for San Francisco though, he's a young linebacker that fits their system, and that's definitely a position of need right now. Nick Martin has recently dealt with a concussion, Tatum Bethune's dealing with that high ankle sprain, and things are kind of precarious right there. But ultimately, these are just my thoughts on San Francisco acquiring the young athletic linebacker and Garret Wallow off of waivers, and I want to hear your thoughts about this acquisition down below. Do you think it's a solid one, or would you have rather seen San Francisco make another move? It would also mean a ton to me if you did enjoy this video. If you could go ahead and like and subscribe, it truly helps out the channel a ton, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.